Alright, so if this is where I'm going to be sitting to talk to you guys, I'm going to need a better backdrop. I don't even know the politically correct word to say. I watch a lot of BBC and I like the crime in the BBC, like the crime shows like Inspector, and they call them street urchins. So I know I look like a street urchin, but it's cold in here and this is what I wore out and everything matches, so I thought I looked okay. I have my orange juice. I normally don't drink orange juice. That's why it was shoved to the back of the refrigerator. I know this is really bad for you normally, but since I'm not feeling 100%, I mean, I'm not feeling bad, but I'm just not feeling, my lungs don't feel great. Anyway, the soup, it's chicken and sausage, and it has hominy in it, and it had sugar snap peas, and yep, it had some of that queso base, like the queso cheese base that I told you isn't. I have one that's in the refrigerator that my mom got me. I put one of those in here, and I think I put a can of cream of like queso poblano soup in there. Anyway, it's spicy chicken soup, and then I heated up the heel of the applesauce oatmeal bread. If you guys want me to do a recipe video, I will. And yep, let's get a little spoonful, shall we? It's very spicy, very cheesy. I don't like corn, but I like hominy. And if you've never had hominy, it's delicious. So I like to put that in my like Mexican inspired soups. It's delicious. I had a package of deer sausage and I used it for different things. I still have a little bit in the fridge. I put it in macaroni and cheese. I put one or two links in the sausage, in this soup, sorry. It's so good. And it tasted so good on a chilly winter night. It was so delicious. And then I had one chicken quarter left, so I deboned that. I put the bones in the freezer. And this is just chicken, dark chicken meat. So I'm just gonna tear a piece of this bread off. This bread tastes to me like wheat bread. Mark said that he could taste the apple in it, but I really don't. There's also oatmeal in this bread. A cup of oatmeal, and you would never know. It just disappears. There's no texture of oatmeal in here. So I've never made oatmeal bread, surprisingly, because I've made a lot of breads because I like to bake. But I don't think I've ever made oatmeal bread, so that could be common. I don't know. I use cloth napkins. Well, the first thing is, it's luxurious to have a piece of cloth to wipe your mouth and your hands with, especially like thick cotton ones. And I've had these You can tell they're like from the 90s or something. Maybe the early 2000s. I've had these forever and I love them. I've never decluttered them. And they just feel luxurious. Yes, you have to wash. You don't have to do a separate load unless you have a very large family, but you know, just 2 to 4 people. You have to have them, to be able to use them, but you can find them from thrift stores. You can also make your own, but I really like this. Like, I think it's just something luxurious to have, Anyway, so this is, except for me looking like a street urchin, luxury dining, in my opinion. I have my stack of books right here, which I will show you. I did tell you that I was going to do a what I got for Christmas video, and I'm still going to do that. And I do have a story to tell you. So, you guys heard me say that I needed a Cool Whip for my puddings and light sliced pears. Oh man, I was going to get a Cool Whip. Dang it. Oh, Leila. And that's why I wanted the Cool Whip to go with the pudding, and then Mrs. Dash. I have 2 butterscotch and 1 vanilla, and what I like to do is I like to make parfaits. I like to mix, I like to keep out a third of the pudding, whatever I choose. And then I like to take out a third and mix it with Cool Whip. And then I put the regular pudding on the bottom, the mousse in the middle, and the Cool Whip on the top. And then I'll sprinkle that with like mini chocolate chips. And that's what we'll have for dessert. I made that a lot whenever I had Mr. Pat and Miss Dorothy for neighbors, because they were elderly and Mr. Pat wore dentures. And it's just an easy thing to eat. And Mark was like, oh my gosh, I love pudding. And I was like, really? It's just like the simplest thing ever. But he loves it. So, y'all heard me say, I need Cool Whip. Well, I have a friend, and she texted me. Ooh. And let me read you what she said. You're not going to believe, you may believe this, you may not believe this, but things like this happen to me all the time. And they don't happen to me so that I will believe in God. They happen to me so that other people will be like, oh my gosh, there is a God. Because they're often supernatural. So she says, hi Leila, how are you? And could you use some whipped cream? I got extra. She said, it's Cool Whip containers. And I was like, I was just telling you guys I need Cool Whip. But I always feel like I'm having a conversation with God, because I talk to God a lot. And so God gave me Cool Whip. I mean, it's not here yet. And from what I can figure out from this text, because it's kind of hard, understanding sometimes, she's going to come over and bring me some Cool Whip. That's just how God works, y'all. The Cool Whip. There's 2 right there. Did you take one out?
Yeah, it's right here.
And there's some right here. Cool Whip from heaven. Okay, back to the books. I have here beside of me. I have my bullet journal, which I told you guys I would show you. It's an Archer and Olive. I got it for Christmas. Kate gave it to me. I have a Frugal Luxuries of the Seasons. Excuse me, back in Vlogmas, I was telling you guys that I had this book. It was blue, and it was by Tracy McBride, and I would just pick it up and read it all the time. So I couldn't find it So I went ahead and ordered it on Thrift Books. And this Frugal Luxuries book is the book that I'm basing my series off of. So I ordered this from Thrift Books, but this one arrived. And I was like, the cover was blue. I distinctly remember the cover being blue because I remember blue things because that's not my favorite color. Anyway, this one arrived, so I was like, is it just a different cover but the same material? So no, it's not. It's a separate book. So now I have 2 of her books and I am thoroughly loving them both. So that's in my pile. Handbook for Christian Homemakers by Edith Flowers Kilgo. I ordered this from Thrift Books. I didn't even know such a book existed. I don't think I've started reading it yet, but I have it in my stack. Romancing the Ordinary, A Year of Simple Splendor, Sarah Ban Brethnach. So I'd never heard of this woman, but I was like, I like those things that you pick up and you can read for like once a day all year, because you don't have to pick it up and read it. Like, you don't have to be religious and go day 1, day 2, day 3. You can just pick it up and like read from anywhere, and you're not really committed to sit down and read a chapter. You know, if you're waiting for something to boil on the stove, or you're waiting for your batch of cookies to come out, it's like 10 minutes. So you might have time just to read and really think about just one. So my soup's getting cold. I gotta finish this little segment up. And then I also have Miss Sharp's Traditions, Reviving Victorian Family Celebrations of Comfort and Joy, from the author of Simple Abundance. I also got this from Thrift Books. I don't know if I showed you these. I'd have to go back and look at my Vlogmas. So I'm going to sit here and finish my lunch and read, and I'll talk to y'all later.